What's up, y'all? You kicking it with the Junkyard Dog at junkyarddogs.com. My name is Tony. For those of you who don't know, I had a pretty rough week last week. You know, I was admitted to the hospital and diagnosed with a blood clot in my left calf. It is really painful. I love working on cars. I love working, actually. So, you know, it's just one of those things, man. I'm gonna keep on rolling. Not gonna let it stop me. Gonna stay positive. Also, somebody hit my Prius, bashed it all up. You know, probably trying to swing their car or whatever. As you guys may know, is what I use to make all the deliveries, man. I mean, it's good on gas. You know, I went to Big Bear, San Diego. You know what I'm saying? I went to Santa Maria. You know, Santa Barbara. I mean, I'm all over the place in that thing. So I really need my car. I'm gonna use the junkyard once again to fix it because it seems like the insurance is trying to front on me or whatnot. But who knows? Whatever. So anyway, we back in the shop. Last week we were working on Project Mayhem, messing with the with Cowl. I search and search and search on YouTube, man. I can't find one single video about how to do this. Bear with me, man. I'm just using the knowledge that I have as to, you know, how to do body work per se. So I'm just trying this out. But yeah, hopefully this video will be able to help other people in the future, man, because I can't find one single video on YouTube about changing the cowl panel on Mustangs. You know what I'm saying? And they tend to go bad a lot because hoods fly up, especially since we're doing all these mods and putting on hood pins and all that extra kind of stuff. So yeah, let's get started. Boom. So now we're looking at where the cowl panel was. As you can see, I cut it out real smooth. I tried my best here at the top, but it got kind of janky right here in the front right here. But we can go ahead and fix that, and I'll show you guys how. So yeah, man, as you can see, got all the little drill marks. I didn't go through at all, but it's kind of jagged because some of the weld is actually still left on there. So we're gonna take a grinder and go ahead and grind this back smooth. After we do that, we're gonna take the wire brush and clean it on up and hit it with some paint, man, because most likely we're never gonna get under here again. So this would be a perfect time for us to just hit it with some paint, get it nice and clean looking before we start working on that other cowl. So you see from all that grinding down there, we just got it nice and flat. Now up here, like I said, it's seen better days, but what we're gonna do now is just take the wire brush on the drill and just go over this whole area here. Just try to get all the dirt loose. Then we're gonna come with some Permatex spray 9, just wipe it clean, and then go ahead and hit it with some Rust-Oleum black paint. And we should be able to go good from there. Go ahead and hit this with some. Alright, we're gonna use some of that spray 9. Grease off. This stuff is really strong, so it'll help break up any of the remaining dirt, any grease, anything like that. We'll get it off. Get it ready for paint. Alright, so now that we've cleaned the area here with the Permatex spray 9, we're going to use some Rust-Oleum, some satin black. You know what I'm saying? This it's kind of funny, man. I use this to paint my truck, and it lasts. It doesn't look pretty, but it lasts. So I know that it'll take weather conditions, and being underneath here, there's not going to be much weathering going on, okay? You could use a primer to get a better finish, but honestly, no one's gonna see it. I'm just doing this because I'm just like that. Same thing like I did a few months back underneath the doors, where the door is attached to. It's just good measure to just do it right the first time while you have it all apart. So that's what I'm doing here. So we got one of these cheap $1 brushes from Home Depot. Usually I don't go to Home Depot, but a $1 brush is a $1 brush. Just go ahead and don't lay it on too thick. And I try to stay away from the areas that I previously just grinded, because we're going to need to weld there. You don't want paint on it. So I'm going to try and stay away from that as much as possible. Hit it with that Rust-Oleum black. It says satin black, but it looks kind of glossy to me, but when it dries, it gets like a very satiny kind of color. So yeah, underneath that cowl panel, you see how I left all the area where I grinded still clear. We're gonna lay the panel down and then mark out where we want the welds to be. And once we do that, then we'll paint in between that, you know, because rust is gonna try to develop in there because it's bare metal all the way across. So we're gonna try and inhibit that as much as possible. This is the replacement panel that my homeboy Pablo, he was parting out a car and then he crushed it and he cut this part out for me. So look, the paint's still nice and shiny on it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So what we're gonna do essentially is take the Sawzall and cut alongside where the panel would come loose if we drill through the spot welds. Then we're gonna grind on the opposite side just so that it takes off the metal that's not supposed to be there and doesn't damage the panel itself. Now on the front part here, we're actually gonna try to cut down and underneath the panel, like under here, because on the one that we have now, it's all, you know, jagged and chopped up. So we're gonna keep that there and see if we can actually blend it in underneath, you know, like in this little crevice right here, and weld in there instead. That's if we, you know, can't get it to work for us. But this one's really straight. There's like one little issue. And then on the other side here, I'm gonna remove these accessories like these hood hinges here and the windshield wiper motor. But see, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. If we just grind underneath here with the grinder, this whole panel will just fall away and leave a nice straight upper part of this panel. So yeah, that's the goal, man. So let's take these accessories off, try to make this as light as possible, and then we'll get to grinding underneath this lip here and try and get the panel loose. Also too, you see like here, we're gonna take the Sawzall and just cut right down in there, cut right from the back there so we can get in there and grind from the back side. Because that's the whole point, to get it off nice and clean. All right, let's go. So what you're gonna use, well, I'm blessed enough to have a cutoff tool, and what I use this for before I touch the Sawzall is to get into these delicate areas here. Okay, you're gonna see like right in here, it's a very small margin of error in there. You know, you come with the Sawzall really quick, you could just gouge right into it. So we're gonna use the cutoff, come right along here. Okay, also too, you're gonna use the cutoff to do something pretty unique under here, is start like an actual hole and stick the Sawzall through it and then cut across. That'll make it easier, because you know, Sawzalls, they can't start a hole, they have to actually come from an outer area, so it makes it a little difficult. And then for the back piece, we're just gonna cut straight down, and I'll show you what we're gonna do when we get to that part. Okay, so there it is. It's your cowl panel completely cut out. And as you can see here on the back side, you know, just went ahead and hit them little welds, peeled it off little by little. And this one I just ground off. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, on this side too, I just kind of took off the spot welds. So what's interesting about this is I'm still gonna have to drill small holes in this panel to weld through so it can connect to the inside panel. So we're almost there, guys. There's a lot of work, but we're almost there. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm actually drilling small holes so that when I weld, the weld will go through the hole and weld to the back panel. That's why we were trying to make sure we didn't bust through and make holes in the main panel here, because the holes are supposed to be in this. All right, so hope you guys can see here. See, I'm welding these small little 5/16 holes in the panel. These are what I'm gonna use to weld through. So I'm gonna make a puddle of weld right through there and and attach it to the panel, and the panel is solid. So that's my method of doing it. So I'm just gonna drill these holes and then go ahead with it. And I went ahead and I zip tied the wiper arm to the assembly here, just so that, see, so that it'll stay out the way while we're doing our thing. So now the next step here is to fit it in place. And it could be kind of tricky because, well, quite frankly, this wasn't made for this car. You know what I'm saying? So they got their own fitment going on, especially like down these ways, right? So what you want to do is kind of just get a rough fitment of how things are going to go. And then I take a hammer and just kind of tap that in there. You see how it's all raised up over there? So I'm going to use these little C-clamps and try to clamp certain areas in place while I move around other stuff, see if that helps. Mind you guys, I am not a bodywork expert. I'm just using common sense here and trying to figure this out. Alright, so it looks like a more effective way of doing this, instead of doing all this banging, is to just C-clamp it. I'm just bringing it together real nice. Alright, so here comes the fun part. This part I love is the welder. Now it can get real interesting right here, because if you don't set the welder right, it'll just burn through. We got most of it in. We use the little C-clamps to kind of keep it in place. Thing is, I'm not using a spot welder, so these welds, they kind of ball up just a little bit, and I'm using flux core too, which is really hot and hard to weld on sheet metal. But we're just going to take the grinder and then just flatten these out after the fact. But the reason why we have to be so careful as to taking the panel loose, because the panel is our guide as to where the inside part is going to come to. So, as we can see here, it's still a little off, so I'm just going to go ahead and hammer it on there. So I took the grinder and just went ahead and ground the welds flat, because, you know, we're really supposed to be using a spot welder for this, but you got to use what you got. You know what I'm saying? Boom. So there it is. Cowl is in. That mug is in there. All right. So let's grab the windshield and see how it fits. So boom, there it is. New cowl was a lot of work, but it's worth it. Looks good. Just kind of rested the new windshield in place. Just kind of bringing it back to life. I'll just grind it down the welds a little bit right in there, and I'm gonna go ahead and just try to clean up this rust, and this has got to come off because it's all chewy and stuff. But all this rust right here got to come off. I'm gonna loosen it up, then I'll go ahead and cut a new template right here. This is just to stop like vibration and whatnot. The welds ain't pretty, but for the most part they can't be seen. So once I hit it with the black paint, you know, you ain't gonna really be able to see it. But I ain't a bodywork guy, guys. You know what I'm saying? I just did what I could, and you know, there it is. Instead of it being all bent up, you know what I mean? So my car's looking real calico, man. Mayhem looking real calico. It got blue, black, gray, bondo, white, black. Even the lights, one's black, one's like gray, blackish, whatever. The spoiler is gray. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Just little by little, ain't nothing but some paint. Let's hit it with a little black paint. Just try to hide it a little bit. It ain't perfect, but it's done. So there it is. Cowl panel installed. Junkyard Doggin.